Yeah! Hi!
Welcome to the Friday live stream for Rift. Now, I gotta tell you, we have like 8 pages of questions. We're gonna tell you
Some
right
of them
off
are
the
very
bat,
long questions.
But let's introduce ourselves first, and then we'll tell you why we can't answer 8 pages of questions. I'm Linda Carlson, known as Brass. I'm the Director of Community here, and I have the wonderful joy of being able to work directly on Rift. And you are?
I'm Amanda Fry, also known as Amory. I am a live producer on Rift.
Keeper of all the spreadsheets that make things happen.
Spreadsheets and Jiras all day long.
Yeah, and happy birthday, Rough Raptors.
Happy birthday, Rough Raptors. There's a Kirby here.
There is
He's
a
hiding in
Kirby
the
on
corner.
the couch. He's back there. There he is.
Where'd you go? What's up, puppers?
Yeah. He's our official Q&A of dog treats in the place. Okay, so this is going to be the Soulpatch Q&A. As you can see, I'm rocking a Soulpatch. I really tried to get Amory to put one on too, but she utterly refused. It's an elf thing,
vain.
right? Yeah. Okay, yeah, totally too vain. She'll get over it once she reaches my age. It'll be great. Okay, so as I've mentioned in a couple of places, we do have a dev letter coming out at the end of the month, and we can't answer a lot of these questions yet because the answers have not been decided on yet. But they will be for the dev letter.
Yeah.
So that's going to be our entire focus. All of next week is putting it together, and you can expect to see the dev letter come out on the 31st. The other thing we wanted to address is how many of you guys were here waiting for the patch to go live on Wednesday? Yeah, we were.
Yep.
We were watching it. It was insane.
That was a long day.
It went for 12 hours. Special shout out to Keypro and Soul Ghost and their guild for putting on a ridiculously entertaining drawing session as they were waiting for the patch. Fake riff. That was really wonderful. Now, we wanted to say that we have a long weekend coming up in the U.S., and as compensation for the very long downtime, we're going to put a whole bunch of bonuses on for that weekend.
Bonus XP weekend coming up.
So are we bonusing
weekend.
all the XPs? Or?
We are on live. It is a bonus to AA XP and regular XP, and on Prime it is just regular XP because AA's and not on Prime.
Yeah, math. For mathy reasons. We also do have a special coming to live for sales, and but we're not going to talk about that yet. That's still secret.
There's some other fun stuff coming on for Memorial Day weekend.
Yeah. Okay, so thanks for bearing with us. We have seen some really great feedback since the patch, particularly with regard to the soul changes.
Yep.
As you guys know, it was a massive undertaking, and the team's all working together on the soul changes, so there was a lot of input there, but really the feedback that you guys provided, especially on Omega PTS, was invaluable to us. Oh, speaking of PTS, I've heard that Alpha's going to come back soon-ish?
Yes. I saw a conversation on that earlier this week on bringing back the live PTS server as well, especially because, we're not done with soul changes. We never are.
Mm-hmm.
But this patch was pretty big, and the extra time on Omega and your guys' help kind of looking at these changes on Omega and giving our feedback and getting parses and trying things out really did help, and I think it's visible kind of in the feedback of what's gone live, and so as we continue, because now we have a kind of a good baseline, we can now continue by looking at more specific abilities and more specific higher end abilities or things like War Chanter, and so live PTS will definitely be playing a role in that.
Okay. There was something else I wanted to chat about, and I know that it came up in chat a little while ago, but I'm going to put my glasses on now so that I can read these things, because if I had printed these out in a readable font, then it would be 34 pages. And one of the things is that there is content continually in development for live. As a matter of fact, just before the stream, I came back from Dead Simon's desk, where he is working on his next puzzle dungeon. So it's happening. It's just not coming as fast as you guys might like to say, but it's coming as fast as our folks can make it.
Yes.
Okay, so there are some questions about soul builds here. We're going to defer those for a moment. Well, Simpa wants to know, we might as well take this on. When is something new coming to live servers? And don't tell me Summerfest. Summerfest counts for people like me.
It does count.
Totally counts.
But that's not all of it. And so one of the things we are doing right now, and there's kind of a bigger conversation there, is resources and time. And so one of the big things we're working on right now is a schedule that takes into account the specific skill sets available on our team, and how much of their time in each patch cycle is being dedicated to Prime and Live. And the goal there is so that we can start side by side working on Prime and live content instead of trying to finish live content, finish Prime content. Like back and forth and back and forth. We're trying to do them in parallel. Part of that is we did have a recent team departure as well as some of our recent team additions, and I'm not mad at them. Like they did it for personal reasons, and it's great for them, and I wish them all the luck in the world, and we love them
so much.
It does leave a gap in some of our ability to put out new content like dungeons or zones, and so we are working on addressing that. But we can't, you can't just like. Someone doesn't just
it's
walk
not
in.
as simple as just replacing
exactly.
somebody,
Someone
right.
doesn't just walk in and sit at the desk and suddenly spit out full zones worth of content. That's not how that works. And so there's now a balancing act of, okay, well, how do we ramp back up to getting to that position again?
Right. Okay. So
no, and it was not Tacitus.
no, not Tacitus. I'm hoping that Tacitus will make it to a live stream sometime in June. I'm hoping for that because, as you know, the information that comes from Tacitus is pretty awesome. Ballador wanted to bring up something super important. Animal call frog does not currently make a sound.
I'm sending that to audio.
yeah, totally, because that is very important. Also, Kirby is too cute. Nerf, please. Not happening.
Kirby is a liquid, not a solid.
Yes, that is
100% correct when you say that.
Okay, so Steele had asked, when will the higher tiered crafting recipes be made available?
I'm assuming that's for Prime. Soon, TM.
We're going to have to ask.
But we are getting
when we
on
take
time
questions,
for that,
we'll have to have people prefix either P or L for Prime or Live, because sometimes it's one, sometimes it's the other,
or both.
And sometimes it's both. Yeah. Okay. On the topic of itemization, will there be any passes for gear in Prime? When
constantly,
always. Oh, okay. All right.
There's always passes for gear happening on Prime.
Okay. And let's see.
Surprise!
Oh.
Hi, I'm gonna crack.
Okay, so
we have a surprise visitor.
We're either being fired or something cool is happening.
Hold on. Maybe Kirby was too cute.
Yeah, Kirby was too cute. So we brought Scott Hartzman in to balance that. Oh, sorry. Scrolling down. I don't know why. Okay, there we go. Yes, please welcome Scott Hartzman, the CEO of Tryon Worlds and avid Rift player. I'm telling you. So, what are you here to talk about?
Absolutely nothing in particular.
Good, so we're not fired.
He's just gonna loom.
God for that.
He's gonna loom over
I saw
us.
there was a live stream going on. I know it was during the Rift time, and I've been playing entirely too much Rift, and it's a good thing that I'm the CEO because I'm pretty sure that if I worked at another company, I'd get fired for how much I'm playing Rift. So, I figured I'd just come in, say hi to folks, and let Linda taunt me because she's very good at that.
I'm going to do that. So, Scott, what's your max level character on Prime now?
My max, I have 150. I have 139, and I have not made my third character yet.
Aww.
And I am beyond that. I am not going to out myself because nobody knows who I am, and I like it that way.
So I understand that you've been in quite a number of pickup groups.
I have. That's actually one of the things that I love the most about this time of restarting playing is the amount of pickups that are happening for essentially every type of everything in the game.
For sure.
When the first round of folks hit 50, and there were pickups running for freaking expert rifts, I haven't seen that since a million years
7 years ago. Yeah.
I actually missed it back then because we were busy working. Yeah. And then doing pickups for raid rifts, and the day that the 10s launched, the day that Greenscale came out, there were pickups for everything, and it's just been fun kind of worming my way into all of those and hopefully not being too horrible.
It has been really cool. I've really enjoyed playing on Prime because on Live my character is not called Brass. I have an NPC named Brass on Live. Yeah. But on Prime, I can be in a pickup group for a while before they go, wait
a minute.
Are you that Brass? Am I going to get banned for what I said? No, dude. No.
You would have been banned already.
Yeah. No, we actually have CS people that take care of that stuff in game. But it really has been a blast. So let me tell you, Scott, there's this ongoing sibling rivalry.
Yes.
I'm going to say right now, sibling rivalry going on between Live and Prime.
Yes.
And they do not believe that Mommy and Daddy love Live and Prime equally. So now that Grandpa's in the room,
wow.
What do you have to say about that? Live and Prime Is there one that's more important than the other, or where should our focus be?
Yeah, I mean, so right now, one of the things that's happened, Linda, you and I in particular, and actually Amanda also, we've all worked on games that have lasted, many years.
6+ years.
And the big thing that we struggle with is right, exactly.
Yeah.
We both worked on EverQuest. We both, Amanda, you and I both worked on EverQuest too.
Yep.
And the thing with these games is that it becomes harder and harder to keep new people coming in all the time
and keep them exciting all the time.
Right. It's like stuff that's exciting to our communities isn't necessarily stuff that's great for getting keeping lots of floats of people into the game.
For sure.
And so what something like Prime did was it gave us more press than we've gotten on on anything we've done in the game. We have dozens of developers busting their ass on making content, and it does while it does keep people engaged in the game, it doesn't do what it used to do in terms of keeping games relevant and keeping people getting into the game.
Yep.
And so we have to find ways to invest in both of them. And there are dozens of people working on these things. It is. I know it's not everybody is super visible, and same as with every game company. There may be 2 or 3 people posting on the forums, but there are 20 other people actually
Plenty of people
doing
don't
work
have a public
that
presence.
are just not interested in posting,
Yep.
and we don't force people to post because it's just not everybody's thing.
And one of the things that I've seen happening across the games, like Sir Quip says there, Prime got me playing live again somehow. And that's true because Prime brought a lot of old-time players back who then decided that, I'm just going to stay and play live. So
or I want to be like, I want to have access to everything that's available in Rift right now. I'm going to go play on live.
And actually, funny enough, so Arconix was just literally in my office. Like I left him sitting in my office to run in here. And he was like, okay, here's 2 or 3 things that we that have worked out really well for us on Prime that we want to do to live,
bring over to live.
And he was just spouting 100 ideas about okay, we're gonna have Class Dude do XYZ. As soon as you get back to your shared office, he's going to ask you to do like 5 things, and so he's super excited. It really just energized everything. And so in the long run, it's going to be better for everybody.
Yep, I think so. Death Leecher. Oh, okay. Some of these names are hard to read from here. Death Leecher. That's simple. You made 1 mega server. No one else did that. It's super cool. Good job on that, by the way. 1 big server for the world. Yeah, I'm kind of enjoying that too. And it's because the hardware that holds that service is a lot bigger than the regular hardware for our servers, right?
Yeah, this is Prime is running on the newest hardware in the company right now. Yeah.
I know a lot of people that are coming back to live for the first time in years too are now finding out that you can do shard hopping.
Shard hopping. Live is like 80% of the way there to almost functioning as a single server.
Yeah, and that's actually one of the things that would be. I am waiting for the technological breakthrough that allows us to do cooler stuff like that on live also. One of the issues that you run into with live services, it has nothing to do with how much we care or don't. It's that when you look at how much data is on all of those things and making having services that can deal with 7 years of live data, it's really hard. You can't. One of the other downsides of, one of the other challenges really is that when the services, when there is that much data, it's not like we can just copy it all to our hard drive and test against it.
Woo!
Right?
Yeah, no.
We would need
Yeah,
150 servers and,
for sure.
16 or 32 databases and all of that. So you can't just replicate it and then go, okay, now we're going to build it. A lot of it is you're doing it live for real for the first time. You test as best as you can. But
and a lot of people are mentioning too is sort of the state that live is in right now with the shard hopping, where it's not really a single server. It's almost like a, but it's you have access to all of those servers is beneficial for a lot of reasons too. And we have some pieces that were originally planned to make it more like a single server that are currently not on deck. Like those have been pushed off as probably not going to happen. But it doesn't mean there's not still kind of some more improvements that could be done to keep keep the shard hopping, but say like merge auction houses. For example, there's no reason that they should be separated by server anymore on Rift Live.
Oh yeah, and
that one's absolutely still in the queue as we really should do this.
Yeah, and there is unique, interesting gameplay value to shard hopping. You know, last time I've restarted on Rift Live, characters 5 times now.
Yeah.
And the one that I restarted with shard hopping existing, it's unique and fun.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to lose that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep,
exactly.
For sure. Okay, all right. Well, thank you so much for stopping by, Scott. You're going to continue hanging out?
I am.
Okay, awesome.
There's a dog. I'm so happy.
Okay, so we shall continue to... we have had some really good feedback on the Soulpatch changes already. Now, if you want to... Nobody is ever going to completely agree on what should be done. And as a matter of fact, part of the feedback that I have for Dev here arose from the question... the QA channel for this the Q&A channel for this server, in which here it is, an interesting side conversation between Aiden, Eileen, and Flash Memory, where we have 3 pages of discussions back and forth, very rational discussions about whether something is or is not working. And so this sort of stuff is very, very good for us, but it also demonstrates that we're never going to make any particular player 100% happy all the time. But
and it's also an example of things that we try as a new and unique idea. Things like the legendaries, like weapons that have ability impacts, etc., have sort of chain-on effects that cause balance issues perhaps later on down the road. And then it becomes, well, do you gut that back out completely, or do you continue to work with it and find a better way to do it?
All right, so... people are asking, let's talk about Greenscale's Blight. Scourge was asking, can we get GSB level mage tank set, even if it's for raid marks or something?
That was a post GSB launch task that is still in progress for Prime.
Now, talking about GSB, let me just bring up, if you could switch to, I've got the wrong mouse here. Greenscale's Blight. There we go. All right, so Greenscale's Blight is here on Prime, and people are in there. Has anybody beat it yet? I haven't been watching.
I do not believe
Shard
so.
First? No, not for Greenscale.
I do not believe so. I think the closest was 15. I want to say 15%.
Is that right?
I think so.
Did that happen to be in a group that you may or may not have joined as a
I
pickup
can
group?
neither confirm nor deny. No, I wasn't. But I have been in there, and I love the. I do love the challenge.
Yeah.
See, there's the challenge for you guys, is figure out which one of your pickup group members is Mr. Hartzman, because I think that would be hilarious to me.
Never gonna happen.
But while we're talking about Greenscale Blight, of course, we have a lot of people asking, what about Intrepid Greenscale Blight for live? Are you able to give us any sort of an update on that?
I'm not. And the thing I mentioned earlier about people on the team changing out and coming in is directly related to that, right? It's like losing some of those resources is directly related to whether or not we can eventually get Intrepid Greenscale's Blight done and how fast. So I do not have a timeline on that right now.
Okay.
And the person I would need to go bully about getting more people for that is on PTO today. So hey, look,
they timed it well.
Yeah, well, I don't go screwing with his department because that would make me terrible at my job. No, this is people coming onto the team, not the other direction.
Yeah, exactly. And one of the things to keep in mind is that at Tryon, we have a lot of different projects going at any one time. So we do tend to, sometimes we share resources when another game is spinning up for a major launch.
Yep.
And we do move people from team to team, depending on the expertise that's needed on any team at one time. Now,
move around.
If we talk a little bit about, and I do want to say that when we've got anything interesting to tell you guys, please check the blog posts, because not only do we put up as much information as we have, we generally also have official feedback threads in which we really want to hear from you guys. So one thing I want to do before, because it's 11:50 and I want to make sure that we get these in before giveaways and before we answer more questions, is the Prime Vigil Challenge 3 just kicked off on Wednesday after the patches eventually came up. And the Prime Vigil Challenge 2 ended on the 17th.
Yeah. Yeah,
if you could switch to the side screen here with the blog, please.
Sweet.
Oh, it is?
Good.
Oh, yeah, okay. See,
it got reversed.
Our live stream producer's trying to use sign language to tell me I'm stupid. It's true. It's totally true. The Challenge 2 finished yesterday.
On the 16th. Yeah.
17th. Yes. Because this one started
Yes.
on the 16th.
Yeah.
Okay. When are we going to see the results for that? Is it going to be next week?
Next week.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And next week is the long weekend, and a lot of people are out for Friday.
I'm out on Friday because I'm going camping.
Okay. So, but maybe we shall release the winners of Challenge 2.
I think that's fair.
The items for Challenge 1 have I think
they've
they've
all
been
been
granted.
out. Yeah.
Okay. So that's great. So
you all got
an
email in game from me if you won. If you won Challenge 1, you'll probably get another mail from me if you won Challenge 2.
All right, and if you're missing anything, you know what to do. Send me a message on the forums, and I will look into it for you. One of the things we wanted to mention about Challenge 3 is the Seeker event, which is going on in live. And as Mizuki Ayu pointed out a little while ago, she is really surprised at how many people are sharing the locations of these items.
I'm surprised by that, too.
I am kind of, in some ways, yes, but in some ways, no, because there are 110 items. So 10 items per zone for 11 zones in Old Mythosia.
Yep.
And all you need to do is keep a really, really good 1 or 3 secret, right?
Right.
When you finally manage the ridiculously demanding jumping puzzle that Dead Simon, bless his little heart, has given us, then you can do that. And I do anticipate that in a while somebody's going to have a really good guide up for all these things.
For how to get them all.
Yep.
It'll probably be after the first couple get finished.
Yep.
So that one is actually on both Live and Prime, which was a fun thing about that, because that's something that, because it involves in-game content and not just sort of tracking of achievements, it was like, hey, look, we can actually put this on both. Yeah. Someone asked if I'm going camping for real or in an RV.
I just saw it too.
I actually looked into renting an RV because that's awesome. They're really expensive to rent one of those. So no, it's got a tent, but I do have sweet LED solar lights that I string up around things. I have a little pop-up kitchen table and like a pop-up tent. So it's sort of halfway between.
Pop-up flush toilet?
No,
Don't have a toilet.
Oh, okay.
There's dirt, there's wood, there's fire, there's tent.
Yeah.
It's
somewhere in between real camping and glamping. Like I'm on that, Yeah,
glamping. Yeah, probably. All right, we want to see pictures. Screenshots or it didn't happen. Now, somebody, Ijate had asked, because we were talking about soul balance, and so let me switch to the soul balance thing. Can you find because I can't operate that with my, the Soulpatch thing, the very last one, Most of if you scroll down to where we did all of those classes.
Man.
I mean, this goes on for ages. And a lot of people have noticed that most of the changes apply to warriors. And that there's an easy reason for that. They needed the most help. So when Ijate asked, do you always forget the mages? Are they at the bottom of your list of priorities?
No. Warrior was just higher on the list of priorities.
We've had similar...
It's never that we're like, oh yeah, those guys are last. It's more like, whoa, warriors really need this. Step 1.
Yeah, they really needed it, and we've all been aware of that for some time, so it's really great. Primalists! You OP Primalists! You don't even start! Actually, I love my OP Primalist. Please don't touch my OP Primalist. Balladorf says the buff stacking changes pretty much countered the buffs for warriors.
So the last 3 raids that I've been in, warrior has been top DPS. So I'm gonna say not for everybody, probably.
It may show up at the higher end on live, because that's always a thing too. Is in the 50 to 70 range, and I know I've seen some feedback about that as some of these had chain impacts into the level 70 range, and we're not done. So that's a whole other tier on top of it.
So again, one of the things I love about working for this company is it's the only company I've ever worked at where I have played side by side with the CEO. This guy gets ridiculously involved in pretty much every game that we do. He's always in there. So when do you actually do your real work?
Discounts.
On weekends?
Wow, savage.
I have a donut. I saw one other random question I wanted to jump in and grab, so it was where is Daglar? We have him chained up in a different part of the building, and no, he is. He has been working on new prototypes and new game development stuff, and also helping me out with going out and talking to other companies and other partnerships and other big cool stuff for the future. So yeah, he's been all in on future game development stuff that's super too early to talk about. But we do have all that kind of stuff going on here too.
Simon just changed the straw in his cage.
Really?
That's nice of you.
That's terrible.
Put an air freshener in there.
I will let Daglar know that everybody says hello. Daglar also became a dad for the first time last year. So he's we're waiting for that moment that it actually mellows him out a little bit, but I can tell you it hasn't happened yet.
All right, so for those people who are looking for something to do, on the 20th, which is this weekend on live servers, please make sure that you take part in Kabuto's Maze of Madness. This is something that's put on by Kabuto and Seshatar. It's going to be almost impossible to escape out of this maze. I think really what's happening here is Kabuto is just trying to take over Dead Simon's role as
I think so.
main crazy person who makes impossible stuff. But there are prizes. We're providing some of the prizes for this. The other thing that's going on in live right now, also run by players, is this Pagoda Dimension Challenge. Mm-hmm. And there is some amazing stuff going on there. And of course, you can find this on the forums or on the blog. And meanwhile,
can you build this in my yard? Like, I've been gardening lately, okay? I'm not a great gardener, but I've been trying. And if someone could just show up and build this in my yard, I would be actually really okay with that.
And meanwhile, over on Prime, not to be outdone,
this is so cozy.
There were a lot of people who said, well, if Prime is a 10 year, it's only going to be around for a year and a half. I'm not going to build anything in the dimensions on Prime. Yeah, you can't keep the dimension nerds down.
Look
they are
how cozy
building.
That is.
So
like, that's
what I want to
good.
point out is this is something that Blythe herself built to show what can be done even with the limited economy and limited availability of parts. And that is a dimension that started out looking like this.
This is the first one you get as a guardian, isn't it? Yeah, it's inside the building.
It is indeed. So it just gives you an idea
I
of what
just
you can
threw
do.
everything on the ground in there because I want to do dimension building, but I have all these items, and so I just throw them all on the ground.
That's what I have to. I have the giant heap of dimension stuff.
I should have thrown them down on the ground like that, because that looks a lot better.
I'm going to throw all mine down, and then I'm going to contact some dimension nerds and find out what their hourly rate is for making things happen.
Can I jump in with one other thing?
Yes.
So somebody had asked, "Are you hiring?" I'm almost getting out of school. Yeah, and somebody else gave a correct answer that I wanted to reinforce, and that is yes. You can always go to the jobs page. You can always apply. We are absolutely 100% of the time. We read submissions from community members, people who actually love our games.
Yep.
I personally have a long history of hiring directly from the community. Mm-hmm. It has turned into some of the best hires on any game, any of the games I've ever worked on. Now that said, I will say if you are an engineer, the chances are much higher because engineers tend to be in the most demand. Yeah. C++ is always desirable. C# on some of the other games is kind of desirable. And with that, I will end my recruiting pitch.
No, I'm glad you said that because like 2 weeks back, that came up on the stream as well. Yep. Where someone was like, I said something about like, send me your resume, I want to see it. And someone asked, are you serious? I'm like, I'm 100% serious. I want to see it.
Absolutely. Yeah, for sure. All right, so the next thing we want to talk about is that everybody on Prime got a new character slot. Yes. Are you all happy with that?
Third character slot.
I haven't made my third character slot either because I've got my cleric, I've got my warrior, and now I can't decide between mage and rogue for...
Well, you know what's going to happen? What? Is 2 weeks from now, we're going to have to discuss whether or not people want a fourth character slot.
Wait,
and
that would really be great!
No, I'm still going to say no! Can I buy one with planar? I know, it's going to be 3 weeks from now, and it's be like, what about a fourth character slot?
No, you just brought it up yourself.
No,
okay, you guys, you heard about it here first.
No.
Go post on the forums. We really need a fourth character slot so that we can have one of each calling. Thank you. That's great. So the answer to that one is maybe someday. Anyway, also on Prime, in honor of Greenscale's Blight, we have the adorable little Verde pet. You claim a pack, but you have to log in. You have to log in to claim it by May 31st. I don't want to hear about it on June 1st where you say you forgot, because here we are reminding you. You're getting an email. It's on the blog. It's in the forums. We've put it on social media. It's in Discord. No excuses. Go get your cute little chibi version of Greenscale. So much cute. Nicer than the original one. I mean, I tell you. All right, so there we go. And that's about it. We can switch to our faces again. Hi.
So they can watch Kirby back
so
here.
So they can watch Kirby.
Like a spa day.
He was eating his own feet briefly. So
he's got to clean his toes.
Okay, so a communication one thing that we're working on is actually a community services survey that we're going to send out by email to find out, where do you guys want to get your information? Where do you find it the most useful? How can we improve our services? Because Atoning Unifex puts communications seem to be slowly improving, but there still feels like the forums are sometimes a bit neglected in favor of the more modern, shiny social mediums. We try not to let that happen. Anytime something happens in the game, we generally put up a blog, it goes to the forums, it goes to Steam, and it goes to social media. And we do try to be as responsive as possible. You'll probably find that devs tend to respond on forums more often than any other media. You don't see a lot of devs on social media, except for Captain Cursor will come out there sometimes when something is highly amusing to him personally. So make sure it's funny if you want his attention. And Dead Simon's on social media sometimes too. But most of the time the communication is on the forums. Perhaps sometimes you don't see it because there is such a large volume of communication going on in the forums that it seems like we're responding more on social media. But don't worry, the survey's coming. Not only are you going to be able to rate us on these various categories, there's going to be huge asked paragraph sections in which you can totally, Josh, where you can really tell us what you feel. And, don't hold back. We have a fairly good idea of what the answers are. As a matter of fact, I was telling the community team, before we send the survey out, we're all going to take it ourselves so that we can predict what the answers are going to be. And I bet we're going to be right.
Is it anonymous?
Oh, yeah, totally anonymous. You can't speak truth without... Oh, are you going to respond too? Everything's great except for that jerk Brass.
Can I jump in with one more thing?
Yes.
That I saw running up in chat. So
yes,
somebody
please.
had mentioned that their highest was 43 and they had dropped out because their next quests were 47.
46, 47, yeah.
Have we talked about this, or can I talk about
We
this?
can talk about it because some people knew that it was coming.
It is a question on the list. So
let's talk about that now.
Let's talk about that.
XP required for levels is going to be adjusted on Prime. Yeah. It was originally intended to go out in this week's patch, got pulled out. There were some weird jumps in the way that formula was applied. So we're fixing that up, so it's a smoother XP curve. And when that goes in, it should actually re-level you, because it'll be less XP per level, but your character will still have a certain total of XP collected. And so that will bump you to where you should be on the new curve.
Okay. All right, and that's coming out when?
Should be next week.
Should be next week.
Better be next week.
Better be next week. Did you hear that?
I'm going to go have words with
somebody. I feel like I personally am not applying the change to the file, so I'm like, it should be next week.
Look, I was an engineer 15 years ago. By God, I can go in and apply some changes to the file.
Oh, boy.
Raptors, get ready to buddy a check-in.
Oh, no.
Another thing is, speaking of communications, I wanted to call up Baron Von Boom. He says, what about the Steam Hub? That place is worse than Mos Eisley at times. Yeah, that's true. We don't have the same ability to moderate there as we do on our own forums. I really only take down truly hideous posts. But I wanted to mention that because I really wanted to thank you personally, Baron, for the fact that you often come in and make responses to questions before I've even seen them. And Steam has this great little ability where I can check this as, you can identify this as the official response, because thank you. And this actually happens on the forums as well. We have amazing people on the forums who will often provide the rational, salient, correct answers. And so you don't always need a dev to chime in.
Just because it's not a dev post doesn't mean there's not an answer there.
Yeah, believe me, so many of the community members know more about this game than any one of us individually, because you live it. We just make the games. But yes, there we go. Now, Dead Simon, people are equally divided in love and hate on your puzzle dungeons, by the way, so keep that in mind. People have asked, oh yes, cleric healing has come up a few times, and about the same answers for the mages. It's something that we're always looking into, and there were some cleric changes that were brought.
It is weirdly hit or miss with cleric healing right now, so that's not done.
Okay.
Yeah, can I let me? I'm also chime in on that one. So
Absolutely.
so after seeing where all the classes were, following round one, this one round of change was get game to a get prime game to a stable base where the modifications that people make after that are much more sensical and just to invent a word. And yes, we know that warriors still need more of a look. We know that cleric healing still needs more of a look. And there is a list I know going amongst the producers as to what order to get everything done in.
Yep.
Yeah. And Baron von Boom, he's my main guy on Steam because that's where he lives. But if I start calling out the people who are helping us out on the official forums, I'm gonna miss everybody. There's people like Slipmat, Sona Moena, half the people who ask questions
are
right?
also heavily
like
involved in that,
Baladorf and Eileen, and I'm just going to start reading the people who submit these because so many of these folks. Holy Roller is often in there.
Yep.
It's incredible how not only do you guys challenge us with the hardest questions, you're always the first guys on the front lines to help explain things to new players or players who have questions. So it's pretty amazing. So yeah, there we go. Now we've talked a little bit about planar experience. Now is that are they
PAs,
are they earning that? Is it hidden?
They
on
shouldn't
Prime?
be. No, it should not be counting toward it right now. But I would have to also go ask probably Rough Rafters. Because we had to talk about this like 3 or 4 times internally of like, does it earn if it's not visible, or is it actually off and not earning at all, but the UI is there?
Yeah.
So no.
And okay, now I need to do some more shout outs. Katasia and Blythe and all those people in the Dimensioneering sections.
There we go. Thank you, Ryan.
Just amazing. Oh, there you go.
I was like 90% sure, but I was like really scared he was going to be like, oh no, wait, it's still calculating.
So, Rough Raptors, dude, you got to put comments in context, okay? So, no PA isn't being stored behind the scenes. It's 100% off. Now, if somebody just takes a screenshot of that, it's 100% off. What are we selling for 100% off this week?
We're not saving PAs on live? No, this is on Prime only.
Okay, and we had a lot of questions about the PTS server. We've mentioned about the fact that Alpha PTS is coming back.
It's coming back. In progress right now.
Okay, and Intrepid Greenspill. Okay, you know what? I think that we have done most of the... Can you go through the rest of these questions?
Let me look at see what we got
here.
We hit some of the big ones.
While she's doing that, we're going to do some prize draws.
Do some prizes!
Yeah, silver tier for 100% off. No! We
talked about individual souls.
We are having a blast with you guys in Prime and on Live. So we would like to do some giveaways now.
Let's do some giveaways. What are we giving away?
Okay. So we're gonna save that one for last. Okay.
Yeah, save that one.
First, let's do the easy one. 30-day patron. Now, the way you enter this is while we do stream across Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. Unfortunately, because of the way the giveaways are set up, you have to be in the Twitch channel in order to enter. And you enter just by having said something since the stream started. That's all you have to do. Okay, so we're going to give away the 30-day patron prizes. Let's do some rolling. We're going to make Scott read out all these names. I hope they're all unpronounceable.
Ooh. I'm totally just flapping a dog's ears on a live stream, and I don't know why.
I do it all the time.
Because it's entertaining.
It's so great.
Sorry, what? Were you saying something?
We have prize winners. You got to read some names.
Awesome.
Yep, as soon as they get posted. There you go. 30-day patron goes to...
Oh, up there. Okay. Yes. 30-day patron goes to Mikkelv.
Congrats.
Mikkelv. And the second one?
Zazula. With 3 A's.
Zazula.
And Al Ian F.
Alien F.
Alien F. Sorry, Alien F.
Now you feel our pain, Scott. Yes.
Mr. N. Congratulations. And
sometimes I think that players are inventing names for Twitch just to make us feel bad.
Read them off.
Yes. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to give away 2 planar pluckers. These are the cool-looking tractor contraption thingamajigs, and they will let you harvest wood and all plant material without having to dismount.
I have a really important question because Scott is in the room.
Oh, yes, good.
Someone asked, when are we going to go to the UK? Because there's a lot of them there who love Rift.
Oh.
I volunteer as tribute.
Right. So, this is the person we would have to ask about when we can go visit the UK.
So, closest,
oh my God, this is great.
Closest we get to that tends to be Gamescom. I know it's not exactly like just a hop, skip, and a jump.
Not down the street.
Yeah, it's not that close, but that is as close as we get, and we will see you there late this summer, early fall, because I'm definitely going to go back again this year, and I
should be there.
Right on. I love hanging out with Rift folks. Every time we're out there.
Absolutely,
it's great to get to meet up in person. It's one of my favorite things.
There's nothing better than sitting in a pub at 2:00 in the morning, ordering sausage and gravy. Yeah.
Doing a bamboozle back there, Kirby.
Yeah, that's because Kirby doesn't get to go to the EU.
He wants to get some treats. He's like, do some giveaways of snacks.
Okay, Scott, you got to read out the winners for the Planer Pluckers now.
The Planer Plucker winners are Cathedral 1.
This hurts me.
And,
this hurts me inside. I know.
And let's see, Anna Money. Anna Money.
We may have neglected to mention that our CEO did not learn to read. Shows you what a good engineer can do.
Cathedral 1 and Anemone E. Congratulations on your Planer Plucker.
Now, do you have another question, or are we going to go to the final?
No, the UK one was definitely important, though.
You're just. She's like, pick me.
Yeah, they invite me to the live stream to try to shake me down for airline tickets.
Oh, it's great. Yes, it's great. Please,
All right.
Yeah, please sign here.
That's right.
Okay.
We have one last giveaway. It is something that is going to be a little hard for me to describe because it is a new pack that is coming to live, but is not yet on live, but will be there next week. So if you win this right now, you're going to get it for free on your live character. You cannot win this on your Prime character. It has to go to a live character.
Right. So if you happen to be a Prime player who never plays on live, well, here's your big chance to be a hero and give it away to somebody else. If you want to give it away to one of the community contributors who's always there answering questions, that's exactly what I would do. Now,
I can say it has a mount in it.
It has a mount.
It has some patron time in it.
Okay.
It has a large bag in it. And it might have a small green dragon pet in it.
Okay. So, but you don't remember what the mount is, or you're just not saying?
It's the armored red
She can't remember.
raptor.
Oh, there you got it. Wow. All right, that's
I'm
great.
scared of saying the name wrong. That's why I don't say it. I'm like, oh, it's just a mount.
It's the. All right, so that's
we're gonna
really
give away 3 of those.
Yep.
For live.
So remember, you're not getting those today. You'll be getting
next
them
week.
next week.
Actually, it'll probably be after Memorial Day, to be really honest.
Okay. After Memorial Day.
Because it'll come out next week, and then it'll be the weekend, and then, yeah.
Alrighty. So, the winners for that.
Roll. Banana 20. Congratulations.
Nice. And next up, the second of these brand new. Oh my God! Speaking of one of our community supporters who answers a ton of questions, I almost said shit ton, and then I caught myself in time.
But then you just said it.
I know.
Sorry. And Rylar, congratulations on your new pack that has yet to be named.
Yeah, we don't even know what it is, but it's an awesome pack. But I don't want to say it
in case I'm wrong.
Because she will be quoted on it.
The number of things that I see referred to with internal names on a daily basis is like, I don't know what the final website name is anymore.
Yeah, that's true. And you know what happens when you start using internal names as an external name?
Yeah.
You get a mage soul called freaking Chloromancer.
Exactly.
That's what happens.
Yeah, no, that's it. So that's why I'm always scared to say names, because we don't necessarily use the final website print name. We'll use like, oh, it's Mount 03, or like some dumb name that we know from a list.
All right, so Rip is in chat and has repeated their question. Apparently this is super, super important. And it says, sorry, I haven't read the thread yet, so not sure if this has been asked. Is a Soulpatch better than a goatee or a full beard? Well, it depends on whether you're a dwarf or not. Yeah. I call it a decent stat.
A decent stat, okay. Yeah, all right, that's fair.
Yeah. Okay, so now one of the things is, as we've mentioned, there are a lot of these questions that we cannot answer on stream.
Yeah, I cannot give you a definitive answer on stream.
This entire pack of questions is going to be used to help inform the dev letter that we're going to be working on all of next week. So thank you so much for sending us in so many salient, rational, well-worded, detailed questions. We really appreciate it.
It narrows down on, like, some of them you see kind of themes, right? And it narrows down on what do people care about. And it is things like new dungeon and raid content on live. It is things like new continued work on soul balance and things like that. High-end weapons, high-end gear. So it definitely, like, it lets us focus down on, okay, well, what do we need to, like, kind of focus on for the future?
Right. So thank you all. We're going to clear out of here so that Trove can get ready for their stream. And we shall see you next week with the winners of Challenge 2. And then the week after with the dev letter. Thanks very much. Have a wonderful weekend. Don't forget that over the May long weekend, we're putting in a bonus XP thing to make up for the 12-hour downtime of Doom.
Say bye.
Say bye, Kirby.
Bye.
Say bye, Scott.
Bye.
Thank you all.
Thank you,
bye.
everyone.